Welcome into tonight's Bluegrass Breakdown radio show, March 6th. We got an early show this week, doing a little Tuesday edition. We got a special guest coming on, everybody might know, from Kentucky Sports Radio, Matt Jones. He'll be joining us in his second segment, about 7:15, 7:20 or so definitely stick around. It should be a good little interview with him. We're going to talk about Kentucky just going 16-0 in the SEC. SEC tournament's coming up this week. Kentucky's playing either LSU or Arkansas on Friday. So we're going to get some thoughts, obviously. We all know him, so it should be a good little interview. Before we get to the show, Western Kentucky is tipping off as we speak in the Sun Belt Championship. It's on ESPN2. Some of you all have ESPN3. You can check it out on there. They're playing North Texas. If they win this game, Kelly, there'd be 4 teams in the state of Kentucky in the tournament.
That'd be significant. That would be I don't know off the top of my head what the record is for that. I should.
As a small state, Kentucky, that's impressive.
Last year,
I think they're like 14 and 18 or something. Like they got a losing record.
They're under 500.
Yeah, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
they need
yeah.
this to get in.
Really?
No. I mean, I wonder what the record is for most teams from the state.
From our state or a state in general?
Our state.
That's got to be about.
Last year there was.
Was Western in it last year?
No.
No, Western was not in it last
so
year.
It'd be Murray, Moorhead.
Yeah, Murray wasn't in it last year.
They weren't in it last year.
Mm-hmm.
They were in it 2 years ago.
They knocked out Vanderbilt 2 years ago.
I know, they ruined my bracket 2 years ago. I quite remember. Mm-hmm. Feels like yesterday.
So you pick them to beat Vanderbilt.
I always have Vanderbilt going way too far in the tournament, as I do Duke as well.
So you had Murray beating Vanderbilt?
No, I had Vanderbilt.
I remember my bracket
like
yesterday. I had Murray beating Vandy, but I had Duke going a little too far. I had Duke going out early.
That's why I hate them.
I had Duke going early. That's the year they won it.
But
that I did too. That was like the 1 year I didn't have them winning. That's why I hate them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's big to have three teams. Definitely. I'm sorry, 4 teams from the state in the tournament. That's definitely nice, especially Western Kentucky with the tumultuous coaching situation that they've had this year. Really getting hot in the conference tournament, which is the beauty of March.
Yeah, for sure. It's the best part of March. There's been a lot of good basketball going around lately, the past couple of days.
As long as they win tonight.
Which, check it out. Like we said, Western's playing right now against North Texas on ESPN2, so everybody around the state should be a hill-topper tonight, I believe.
We are all hill-toppers.
Yeah. Well, now we're in the show. It's just like, obviously, Kelly Patrick here. We have Danielle Chilton over there in the Breakdown Lounge. How are you all doing tonight?
I'm breaking it down. How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah.
Good.
Doing super.
We got Matt McCarthy, obviously, behind the scene doing all the good stuff.
As always.
Good, as always. So, get on along with the show. If you want to give us a call on the Bruceys.com call-in line, that number is 502-265-5211. I'd like to hear from you Kentucky Louisville fans out there. Kentucky, we'll start with Louisville. They only had one game over the week. Up in Syracuse.
What are you laughing at? They lost to the number 2 team in the country.
No, I liked it. It was a lot of fun.
All right, they lost.
It wasn't a lot of fun, but you don't have to watch. I mean, it was ugly. Big deal.
The game in general was. Louisville. The offense isn't there. Like Kelly said, that's the number 2 team in the nation. They lost by 9 points. It was a game at one point. It was a game for most of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Bohannon, there wasn't much scoring. Like I said, Louisville was struggling to get over that 57 mark late, which obviously, that's what's killing them.
Yeah, offense is,
2 for 23.
That's what their problem is. They need to somehow put up some more points and do it in bunches. And
the starting lineup was odd that night. You had Jared Swapshire in there and Shane Bohannon. You had Jared Swapshire running in the middle, which at the beginning it looked like it was kind of working.
It was working.
Swap
had a very beginning
good game.
But
good coaches and Jim Boeheim do. It takes just a minute or two to change things up, which stopped that. But the shooting.
Also, Wayne Blackshear.
Wayne Blackshear started off with a 3. Mm-hmm. Right in the corner. Well, he did okay.
Didn't take long for both Blackshear and Swap to cool off. Mm-hmm. But at the beginning, it seemed like a heck of a strategic move. Swapshire is an experienced guy who can pass well, and they were hoping he could be at the top of the key and break the Syracuse press.
But 2 for 23. 2 for 23 3-pointers. That's not going to win you any game, any night. And then on top of that, 33% as a total, so you're obviously not getting it done inside the paint as well.
Only shot 7 free throws. That doesn't help.
Exactly.
5 of 7. Good percentage. Doesn't get it done if you're not going to take it to the rack. You got to be aggressive on some level offensively. And And watching the Duke North Carolina game Saturday night, it looked like they just had wide open layups every play. I was
North Carolina?
Yeah, what did I say?
No, it's North Carolina.
Yeah, both. It's just a different brand of basketball. I was like, oh my God, my church league, someone tries that, they get tackled. Louisville, Syracuse, that doesn't happen. But other basketball games have relatively uncontested shots. It's
Yeah, that was
pretty foreign.
That was a blowout. I saw it coming. Did you watch that game at all?
I actually couldn't. I was really excited about it. Then
I was asking you because your boy's in the game, Austin.
I know. I get so excited. I was cheering for North Carolina though.
Oh yeah.
But I always cheer for the other team.
I hate Duke more than I
was cheering for North Carolina because I want North Carolina to get one seed. That's the only reason I was cheering for them.
We're going to talk about that with Matt Jones in the second segment a little bit. He'll be on there, so be sure to stick around. But yeah, I definitely don't want to face North Carolina as a 2. I definitely don't want to see that. So we cheer for them to win the ACC tournament on the 1 seed standpoint there. But yeah, on the Louisville, they need to turn that around on the offensive end, which maybe these new uniforms are getting will do it, Kelly. Do you see them?
They said that it is, I think, 40% lighter.
28%, but that's, close.
I'll exaggerate. It's lighter material, I think, should really help both Kyle Kirk and Chris Smith's first step.
Yeah, that's what's holding them back.
For
is
sure.
The material of their jersey.
Russ Smith's got to be like 85 pounds in this jersey. I mean, he's just going to be flying up the court.
Pretty light.
He's going to be flying.
He's aerodynamic.
You can check out
They're going to give him little pointy hats so they can get down the court fast.
I would show you the new jerseys on our show, but the producer's slacking over here. Yeah. Anyways, you can check it out on KentuckySports.co. It's in there on the front page.
They look snazzy. They're no
They're not
platinum,
bad.
but they're snazzy.
They're not bad. Besides the tiger marks across the shorts, it's kind of weird.
I don't know if they'll have those tiger marks. Those were the Bearcats.
No, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull up the picture right here if you want to see. I know they can.
I saw the Bearcats.
Can you see?
Had the tiger marks.
See right there. See the little tiger marks.
Why would I guess
Will Ferrell designs. It's pretty sweet. But
that guy's interesting. Just I guess a random model.
Keeping on Louisville aspects thing since that was the last game of the season. Some awards have been dished out to Louisville. Shane Bohannon made their all rookie team. I didn't know they called it a rookie team. That's like the NBA.
Yeah.
Same thing. That's good for Shane Bohannon. Getting out there. He's obviously going to be on the All Big East era throughout his career at Louisville, however long that may be.
I would think so. They need to run things through him more.
Totally.
He's
a beast. He's a big guy.
The best player.
But he's going to develop and he'll be fine. And Kyle Carrick, the senior, Big East honorable mention. I think he was second or team last year, if I'm correct. He had a great year last year, though.
Sounds right. He's. I don't know that he should even.
I feel bad for Kyle Carrick.
I don't.
He's a good complimentary piece.
Exactly.
I mean, I just feel like he should have had a better, not necessarily a better senior year, but a better end to his senior year because he's just been so dead the last few days.
Like Jim Boeheim said, he just drained so many threes last year. He ran out, and then that game
Even
in Freedom Hall.
That was unbelievable.
Freedom Hall game to end his
I just
Freedom Hall
wanted
career.
him. I wanted him to come out. Not that I love Louisville or that I want to. I just wanted him to come out and dominate at the end of his year. That's all. So I feel really sad for him. So I hope he has a really good tournament because it would make me feel better.
He's was the homecoming king, I believe.
Yes.
Had
I
the
don't
best.
Don't talk about it.
I don't want to talk about that.
They bring it up just like you said last week or 2 weeks ago. They bring that up, or maybe that was John. I'm John. They bring that up every ESPN or CBS game. You got the homecoming kings here.
And every Louisville fan you ever talk about puts that right there.
Yeah.
If you guys watch Louisville games, you'll find little things that oh my God, quit. Why do they keep repeating that? Like Diener gets pissed at the Anthony Davis talk of he was 6'3" and then he grew to 6'10".
Did he get mad? I thought that was a sarcastic tweet I saw. I saw him tweet, and he said something like, I just saw that. I'd never heard that. Okay, that was definitely sarcastic.
Yeah, he got killed for that.
So any time you watch Louisville games, you're just.
But I'm just gonna say,
my point was this:
yeah.
He was the homecoming king. He had that dunk at Notre Dame. He had the sympathy of everyone. He did okay for himself. I don't think he needs people to feel sorry for him.
Yeah, he's.
Well, I don't like. I just wanted him. I was rooting for him. I'm not even a fan of his, and I was rooting for him. And it's just, man, I wish they'd get it together.
Western Kentucky leads 12-10 right now with 14 minutes to go. We got that first time out, so turn it on ESPN2. Just quick it there.
And Virginia is too close to call on Super Tuesday. Just so you know.
Is it?
Thank you.
Good update.
Yeah.
Too close to call.
Gingrich has won Georgia and Vermont.
Wow.
But anyway,
That's
Western, hooray.
Yeah, Western's moving on. Check them out. Kentucky side of things here, they had a couple games last week. Everybody definitely watched the Georgia game. It was senior night. It was ugly from the beginning. Kentucky won 79-49. They covered the spread. Darius Miller, he led the way, which he should have. 17 points. His best friend Eloy had 2 points. Nice little putback. He had 5 rebounds, which he got some action. That's good for Eloy. They're both been around. Eloy's been around for what, 3 years now?
2.
That's right. I thought it was 3 years. First year he kind of hung on the bench.
I mean, 3 years. 3 years probably was his kind of transfer period.
Yeah,
so
that's probably
that's right. That's right. Yeah, so he's been on the court for 2 years.
So
he's been around, but obviously Darius, he won a state championship here, Maysville, I believe it was Maysville. Now
Mr. Basketball.
Mr. Basketball. Now he has a chance to win a national championship. He was just named SEC's Sixth Man of the Year.
And who doesn't love him?
Who doesn't love Darius?
Who does not love him?
He reminds me of like a Draymond Green, a guy that's been there. He's been here 4 years. The guy that's been here for like 10 years. He's one of those guys that you think, God, when's he ever going to leave?
And honestly, Kentucky fans love the Kentucky boy. My mom told me that she cried during the senior award thing, which I don't get into. I don't cry for the senior awards, but
we should get her on the phone if she cried during the senior awards.
You cannot handle my mom.
I'm hitting the crickets on that.
My mom is okay.
What
my mom knows more about
sports.
sports. My mom knows more about sports than anyone in this room combined.
What would you do if Tyler hit the crickets while your mom was talking?
I would punch him in the face.
Seriously?
And he would probably be missing his voice. That's what would happen.
Well, luckily we're not going there. But yeah, Kentucky took out Georgia senior night. Dorn Lamb, he had 13, Gilchrist 12 to help him out. But good send off for Darius and Eloy. Now they got some more damage to do, though. We are in March, which is surprisingly, we just had some terrible storms go through Indiana and Kentucky. Send all of their prayers and thoughts out to them.
Good, thank goodness we had John Hancock up in Henryville helping out.
John Hancock, our Louisville man, he's up there. He was up there the next day.
I think he may be there today.
I think that's right. I think that's why he couldn't make it. I think their curfew is right about right about sunset, so he's probably heading back now. So get out there and help anybody. You can do anything. $10 donations, redcross.com. You can text them. It's like 90999, I do believe. But yeah, help them out any way you can.
What I like about John is he texted me, sorry, I'm up in Henryville. I'm not going to be able to post too much. He had like 4 posts yesterday.
Yeah, he didn't have any today. John. Gosh. No, but
all caught up in his Henryville.
Yeah, exactly. John's doing good things. Keep it up, buddy. They also played Florida this week. We got a few minutes. We can talk.
It's a solid win.
It was a solid win on the road. Another road win. Pulled this one out. I don't even have the score.
It was a fun game to watch.
I do have the score somewhere.
It was like 74-65 maybe?
74-59.
74-59.
Almost got a little close certain points.
It was close. They tied it up there. They got hot at the beginning of the second half. They cut it back.
They were getting all transition points.
Exactly.
What it was. It was
the defense is just horrible for the first 5 minutes. That's all it was. Then they woke up, took it over. They ran away with it. 16-0 in the conference for the 4th time in history. They did it, and I believe it was 54. I think
96.
It was 54 and then 96, obviously 2003.
Good omen.
Tubby Smith 2003. Yeah, good omen.
Ah.
Yeah. So maybe it's a good sign. They did lose 2. Do you know?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State in the SEC finals. Who they could face this year in the finals.
They could.
So everybody get on down to Blue Orleans. It starts Thursday. The fun.
It'll start
Thursday.
Thursday. Kentucky's got first round bye, but
yeah, they play Friday at 1. It'll be Arkansas or LSU. But yeah, they took out Florida 16-0. People might say the SEC's down. We've all talked. We don't need to get into that. It's a whole other topic. But 16-0 in any conference. Syracuse State, they're 1 mark away from going perfect in the Big East.
Honestly, it wasn't like they, completely destroyed the conference.
There was good.
They gutted out some of those wins.
Exactly. That's a good point. The Mississippi State game, the Vanderbilt game.
That was hardcore.
Both Vanderbilt games were, good
Tennessee.
games.
Alabama at home.
Tennessee might make tournament. They're a bubble team now. Did you see that, Kelly?
I did not. Are they a bubble team?
They're on the last 4 out, I believe. They're right there on that line.
Are they a number 2 seed in the SEC?
They are. Because Kentucky beat Florida, they moved up to a 2 seed in the SEC tournament.
Ever since they've had Stokes, if they can.
Do you know that
they'll play Ole Miss or Auburn? I expect them.
He's got a size 20 foot. I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. Thank you, Jimmy Dykes.
Anthony Davis, he dominated Florida. I will say Patrick Young had a hell of a game for Florida. It was 20, big double-double. But Anthony Davis, he showed again why he's just earned
Hitting
the
another
SEC
three.
Player, Defensive, Freshman Player of the Year. The coaches just named that out. That was obvious. We don't need to talk about that. But he had 22 points, 12 rebounds, 6 more blocks. He's got to be the Naismith Player of the Year. Thomas Robinson's, he's great, but he doesn't do the things Anthony Davis does on both ends of the court, nonstop.
Does Davis do what Robinson does offensively?
But he doesn't. He doesn't play that same role.
You want to tell me a stat? I'm glad you asked that. I saw a stat yesterday. I believe it was Thomas Robinson's had 126 or 156 more shots than Anthony Davis.
And
if Anthony Davis took those shots, he would be averaging 22 points, which is Thomas Robinson's at like 18. He'd be dominating.
Yeah. There's no way of telling if he would be if he took more shots.
Why? Because he's shooting 60-something%. He's going to make 60% of those shots.
Then why doesn't he do it?
I pulled the stat today. Hold on.
We have other people on our team that can score. Kansas doesn't have as many scores as Kentucky does. They don't. Jeff Withey's not a scorer like Anthony Davis is the big man. Terrence Jones can score like Thomas Robinson, power forward. We got Dorn Lamb, shooter. They got
they're
Tyshawn
different
Taylor.
teams. They have different roles.
Exactly.
Thomas Robinson is more valuable to Kansas. It's all hard to even.
We're gonna have to cut you off.
because-
Looks like Matt's cutting you off, Danielle.
Okay.
We gotta go to our first break. Hang with us. We're gonna get Matt Jones from Kentucky Sports Radio on the line. We'll be back in just a moment. We'll get
welcome back to the Bluegrass Breakdown Radio Show. We have a very special guest on. We have Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio. How are you doing tonight, Matt?
Doing great, fellas and ladies. How are you?
We are doing good. It is a pleasure to have you on the show. I know that we have followed you at Kentucky Sports Radio for quite some time, and it's great to finally have you on.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I always like good internet starting folks, and I'm glad to do it.
Good deal. I know that, myself being a Louisville fan, I don't have as much of great, exciting stuff to talk about right now, but I know with Kentucky there is plenty to be excited about. So, what do you think about the SEC tournament?
You guys are terrible. I mean, you guys are just awful. At least in the last 3 weeks. I do think going after the season, though, you all will be a much more interesting group to follow because I think this is a make or break point for your coach. So I'm interested in watching what happens.
I completely agree.
It will be interesting to see. It's definitely it doesn't make it any easier that Kentucky, who's the all-time winningest program in the history of college basketball, is having their best season ever. That doesn't help.
I saw that said, I guess on the pregame show for you all that, some part of our fans' problem is that Kentucky is winning by so much. And I saw that a lot of Louisville fans got mad. And, I'll criticize Rick whenever he deserves it. But I don't see that's not controversial at all. I mean, I think if Kentucky had Billy Gillespie or Tubby Smith, you guys wouldn't be nearly as frustrated as you are now. And that's understandable. I mean, the worst thing that happened to Joker was Charlie Strong. So I don't know what's controversial about that.
I agree with you on that 100%. I mean, I wish Louisville was a lot better and that the offense it wasn't like pulling teeth, but it is. They're horrible. I won't deny that. Defensively, they're not bad. They actually have a good defensive field goal percentage this year, the best they've ever had.
Yeah, enough of Louisville.
Yeah, I think defensively they're actually really good. I think defensively they're one of the, Kentucky is on kind of another level right now defensively in Syracuse. But I think, you get past them. I actually think defensively Louisville's as good as anybody in the country. They're just so bad offensively that they make it tough to watch.
That offense is, in my opinion, it's not going to get them out of the first weekend.
Well, it all depends on who they play. I mean, they could easily lose first game of the NCAA tournament, but it wouldn't shock me to see them get to like the Sweet 16. I mean, they just don't have enough offense to beat most good teams. But, you get the right draw. It'll all be about draw for Louisville. And that's kind of how it's been the last 2 years. They've just gotten bad draws. I thought Moorhead was a terrible draw for them, even when the brackets came out.
Yeah.
Because I have a theory in the NCAA tournament. When teams are close to the same, if one team has the two best players on the court, they will win. And I looked at that Moorhead-Louisville game last year, and I said, Moorhead's got the two best players, and then they won.
Yeah, for sure. Freed's a monster. I was listening to your show earlier, and a lot of the IU and UK talk, you were just talking about somebody, facing up. I would not want to play IU again, like you were saying, not a factor of win or loss. In fact, I just want the easiest road. I don't know. All these people want the payback. We're 30-1. That one mark they can have that mark, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody that whole talk on the radio today perplexed me.
Yeah,
I don't know why anybody wants to play a team that's good. I mean, I want to play as few good teams as possible in the tournament. Plus, Indiana's the kind of good that is the worst matchup for Kentucky, which is that they can shoot threes. And you don't want to play a team that has a little bit of size with Cody Zeller and can shoot threes. I think Kentucky's better than Indiana. I think they'd win most of the times, but Indiana would have a puncher's shot, and most teams don't have a puncher's shot. So why would you want to play a team that had a puncher's shot? I don't really understand. But, it looked like most of the Kentucky fans disagreed with me on that.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know why they would disagree.
Kentucky fans love revenge. They love blood. So but honestly, as long as Indiana, in that situation that you posed on the show, if Indiana loses early, that's just as good for me. I'll take it.
Yeah, everybody loves blood. I understand that. And if you told me before the game started, okay, who would you rather beat, then I probably would agree. But, you know, you got to beat them first. And what if you lost? And what if Kentucky finished, 36-2, and the two were both Indiana's? That would be the worst. That would be absolutely, the Indiana would have that on Kentucky forever. I don't want that, but obviously, I was in the minority. I was surprised. Usually I can predict what the fans will say about things. I was surprised. I missed that one pretty badly.
Yeah, one of my friends was talking about this earlier to him, and he was I told him that I wanted the easiest road to the championship, and then he brought up Duke 2 years ago, how their bracket was just set up to walk to the Final Four, basically, and walk to the championship as they did. He said, he remembered back, I was making fun of Duke then. I guess I shouldn't have, because now I want that easiest road.
Yeah, well, I mean, we made fun of them. I made fun of them too. But at the end of the day, in 10 years, nobody's going to remember that they didn't play anybody. They might remember that they played Butler in the finals, but they were very fortunate. They got a Baylor team that they were able to beat. Kentucky got upset, Kansas got upset, and Michigan State got upset, and so they were able to win. But still, at the end of the day, they won. And so we can say all we want about, the road and this and that, but you want to win. And to me, if they play 6 of the 8 worst teams in America, if they win, they win.
It's Kelly again, Matt. One of the things that I've heard lately, I guess Steve Kerr kind of made some comments that have ruffled the feathers of some Kentucky fans. I think he said that the Kentucky had a week out of conference schedule. Did you hear those comments?
Yeah, it depends on what he means. I mean, if he means that they only played a week out of conference road schedule, then I guess he might be right. But at the same time, what's he comparing it to? I mean, nowadays in college basketball, nobody plays more than 1 or 2 true road games in the non-conference if you're a power school. I mean, nobody. I would bet there wasn't. I bet if you looked at the top 20 teams in America that are not Murray State, so that are not, mid-majors, my guess is that none of them played more than 2 true road games. And so Kentucky played 1. Next year they'll play 2. So I don't really know what he's talking about. He can't be talking about overall, because they're going to have played 2 of the 3 1 seeds in Carolina and Kansas. They're going to have played a 4 seed in Indiana and probably a 5 seed in Louisville. And they're probably going to have played another couple teams that make the tournament.
Loyola?
Now, Loyola being one, and there's somebody else that's still alive. I may be wrong about that. But, that's not a great schedule. It's not the best schedule ever, but it's not terrible. So I'm not really sure what he was talking about there. But that was only one mistake. I actually thought he did a pretty good job with the game, so we'll let him have one error.
Yeah, I like Steve Kerr, so I agree. It's tough to give him too much hell if you like him.
He was good. It's just that one thing, you know how it goes. Obviously, jumping in to the SEC tournament starting this week, Kentucky's playing Friday against either the winner of the LSU and the Arkansas game. Then they would face, I do believe, probably Florida or possibly Alabama. Is Kentucky going to run this as they went 16-0 in the conference?
I'm going to predict that I think they're going to have one game down there that comes down to the end. I'm not sure which one it'll be. I don't think it'll be the first one. I don't think it's going to be the game against LSU or Arkansas, but either Florida or if they play Vandy in the finals, and it could be Alabama. Alabama could beat Florida. I think they'll play Kentucky close. I really do. I think it'll be one of those games where they got to be totally focused. Somebody will get hot. I think they'll win it, but I think they're going to have one of those games that's close, and that won't be the worst thing in the world for them. This team just, they don't want to lose to anybody, and I think they'll find a way to pull it out. But it wouldn't shock me. That semifinal game where they play either Alabama or Florida, I would not be shocked if that game ends up being a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. But what I was also looking at is the bottom side of the bracket. I honestly think Mississippi State's going to come out to the championship as they did last year. And I do think Kentucky's going to make it through it as well. I think that could be the game. If there is a close one, it would be that one.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. That could be it too. I mean, Mississippi State, I still think, is the best. It matches up better with Kentucky than any other team in the conference. I mean, now, the question is, have they quit? And I don't know the answer to that. But Mississippi State has, if you're going to play against Kentucky, you got to have two big guys. You have to have two big guys. If you don't have two good big guys, you're done. And they do. I mean, they've got one really good one in Moultrie, and Sidney, when he wants to play, is good enough to contribute. And then you got to have a good point guard. Two big guys and a point guard. If you've got that, you can at least theoretically play with Kentucky. And the handful of teams that have it, and there's only a couple. I mean, Carolina, Syracuse, Indiana does have that with Oladipo and Zeller. So, Mississippi State's really the one team in the conference that can really do that. So it didn't surprise me that they gave Kentucky a game that in starting role.
Matt, we're a equal rights site. We're going to now let our resident female ask you a question here. Here's Danielle.
They are so sexist when they set me up. Anyway, so I've heard you talk on your show about how when it comes to the NCAA tournament, you don't want North Carolina to be the number 2 seed in that bracket, which makes sense, in Kentucky's bracket, which makes complete sense. I completely agree with you. Who is the other team that you think could pose problems if Kentucky gets that number, if there's the number 2 in Kentucky's bracket?
Well, if you assume that the twos are going to be Michigan State, Duke, Missouri, and Ohio State, I'd prefer it to be Duke or Missouri as opposed to Michigan State or Ohio State. Only because Michigan State and Ohio State can slow the game down and can hit enough threes to keep it close. I think all those teams would have a very difficult time beating Kentucky. I mean, if you break them down like we've talked about, okay, Michigan State's got one good big guy and a guard. Ohio State's got one good big guy, a guard, and sort of a wing player. Duke's got 2 guards, no good big guys. And Missouri's got 4 guards and no good big guys. I think all those teams are going to have a real hard time beating Kentucky. If it was perfect, I'd like to see Missouri. I don't see a scenario where Missouri can beat Kentucky. Now, I mean, you never know. But, I mean, how in the world are they going to guard the size that Kentucky has? I just can't imagine that they can do it.
Yeah, I think they might be.
I mean, to me, Missouri and then Duke. The one I'd probably want to see at least is Ohio State, just because I think they've got the most scoring weapons, and Sullinger could, while not neutralizing Davis, make it a little tough for him. And so you might have to rely on Terrence Jones, and I'm still not 100% always confident in Jones. So I'd probably want to see Ohio State win.
I completely agree. Ohio State scares me. They've scared me from the beginning. I mean, they're one of those teams where you can kind of get down on them for a second, and then they'll show you something that you weren't quite expecting, and it still scares me because I don't trust them in the tournament. A lot like last year, I just don't trust them.
No matter before,
last year they had a little more firepower, so that's one thing that is different. But and Sullinger's not the same player, and I don't know why that is. He's just, I mean, he's not bad by any means. He's just not quite what he was. But in a one-game scenario against that team, I think they'd be dangerous.
Yeah, I totally agree. Before I do let you go, Matt, I've quick little hits here. Obviously, we got the NCAA tournament coming up. We really can't say will Kentucky win or lose because like you like to say, it's just random. We don't know the bracket yet. But should they get that number 1 overall seed and Davis, Player of the Year?
Are you asking me should he be Player of the Year?
Yeah, I said in your opinion, should he be Player of the Year? And in my eyes, I think they should be number 1 overall seed. I know a lot of other people may not.
Yeah, I think they should be the number 1 overall seed if they win out. If they lose and Syracuse wins the Big East, then I think they should be the number 1. Davis is the Player of the Year to me. I think he wasn't until about 3 weeks ago. And then I think in the last 3 weeks, as Kentucky hit their hardest part of the schedule, he played the best. And I think that's a good sign. For people who would vote for Robinson, no, I don't think that's a bad pick. I think you could make a case for Robinson too, but I do think Davis is the best. I think he'll end up winning most of them because it's Player of the Year and not MVP, and so I do think he'll win it. Like National Coach of the Year, I think you could give it to Cal. I don't think people will. If you're not going to vote for Cal, you got to give me a good reason as to who you're voting for, to me. I mean, I can understand voting for Boeheim. I can understand maybe voting for Mike Bray, the coach down at Murray. I could even understand Hayes, Missouri. You know, Bill Self is a tough one. I'm getting the feeling like he might win, and I think that's a pretty terrible pick actually, because they're good, but I don't know if they're great. And I think part of Self's problems are self-inflicted, no pun intended, in the way he recruits. So I wouldn't give it to him, but any of those other guys, I could see giving it to.
All right, really quickly. I know you're going into New Orleans for the SEC tournament, and I am incredibly, incredibly jealous. But do you all intend, as your KSR compound, to celebrate the birthday of our fine Anthony Davis, which is Sunday? Are you all going to celebrate?
Well, I didn't know that. Well, I'm glad you told me that.
It's true. Anthony Davis has a birthday.
I did not know that. Listen, if I can just get the guys in the KSR compound awake, not arrested, and to show up at the various places we need them, I'll consider it a win. I mean, I've been going to this thing, going back to when I went with my grandfather, I've been going to the SEC tournament. This is like my 21st straight year. And I've been going the last 12 or 13 with college friends. And this is by far, even though we're all older, the wildest and most rambunctious group I've ever taken. There's 14 of us. And, I'm just hoping everybody survives. If that happens, I'll consider it a win.
I'm so jealous. I'll be doing the same thing.
I made sure that I had the least amount of work possible to do because I'm looking forward to having fun.
Matt, before we let you go, I also want to clarify. I know that one of the things we talked about with you originally was revolving around tipping your server.
Yes, you did. It was you that didn't think I tipped you.
Well, I just wanted to see if your tipping habits are, have continued the same. I know that you take pride in tipping. I just wanted to see your feelings on that.
Listen, I am known for people who are around me as a over tipper. I usually tip consistently 25%, and
that's good.
Sometimes more than that, depending on the situation. You got nothing because I didn't know I was supposed to tip you. I thought somebody else was doing it. But listen, if you get nothing as a server, you should recognize that they didn't intentionally not tip you nothing. No one tips zero. Right? So if you get zero, that just means that you are either just a complete idiot or you forgot. It's when people tip like 5% that they suck. And I forgot, I did not tip you because I thought the other people at the table were.
Yeah. It actually wasn't me.
It was actually me, Matt. And I will say, it was a big party. There's 3 servers of us. We had to bring it up.
I would get a lot of hate mail.
The next time I see you, I'm just going to hand you like $20.
I don't want it.
Here you go. Does this make up for it from whatever happened at the opening of a restaurant that I don't even think exists anymore?
Stax is right by my house, and it is not there anymore. It broke down. But yeah, Matt, we really appreciate you coming on.
All seriousness, thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate you taking out time. It's such a busy time of the year for you. To come on with us, and thank you very much.
No problem. Glad to do it, guys. Good luck.
All right, thanks.
Good interview there. We had Matt Jones, Kentucky Sports Radio. It's always nice to get somebody that will just talk and let us sit here.
Yes.
Anyways, this is the Bluegrass Breakdown. We'll be back with some more UK and Louisville news.
the first pick in the 1992 NBA Draft, the Orlando Magic selects Shaquille O'Neal from Louisiana State University.
We see your best. Clear an area. He took the whole side of the Jersey.
Welcome back to the Bluegrass Breakdown Radio Show. We would like to especially wish Shaquille O'Neal a very happy birthday. Shaquille O'Neal, the greatest center as a freshman in the history of the SEC.
40 years old today. The soon-to-be second place shot blocker, considering birthday boy Anthony Davis here in a few days is only 24 blocks behind him. You do the math. Kentucky's got 9 games to go. He's averaging 4, 5, 9 blocks a game. He's got it done. Right? Let's see. All right? Just give him a round of applause. Oh.
I'm clapping in my head.
There it is.
And he's an awesome
There it is.
I like Barkley. I like Shaq.
I hope Barkley does a game.
Shaq is hilarious. Barkley will always be my favorite. He tells it like it is.
I heard Charles
I like
Oakley just hates Barkley.
We've got a Western Kentucky North Texas score update. It looks like it could be 30-30 if he knocks down this free throw with 1 minute to go. So turn on ESPN2 if you don't have it and you have an Xbox and Xbox Live. Turn on ESPN3.
30 all.
You can check it out online.
30
ESPN3 as well.
Sunbelt.
If you want to give us a call, Louisville Kentucky fans, on the Bruceys.com call-in line. Given number is 502-265-5211.
Also, as far as Super Tuesday results, Romney has now won Vermont and Virginia, projected anyway, according to MSNBC. So Ohio will close at 8. That's the real big one.
Awesome. And,
that was a good fake, Tyler.
Yeah, and back to the Bruceys. If you don't know what Bruceys.com is, Matt can throw it up there for you. It's our newest sponsor. Our sponsor in our call-in line. Again, that number is 502-265-5211. You can give us a shout. Check out Bruceys.com. They have... Matt, you want to read off that line? I don't have it in front of me. No? Polarized sunglasses?
What line do we need?
Pry yourself one today. Well, anyways, they have sunglasses. The back of them, the earpiece. They have little metal pieces on them, and you can open up... Super cool. Tailgating gear. Open up your bottles, your A&W, root beers, whatever you have.
Barrels of fun and tailgate.
Barrels of fun. Check them out at Bruceys.com. That was a good little advertisement promo for them.
That's how we're going to get the big advertisers.
Barrels of fun.
When you forget people's taglines, that's what.
Well, I mean, it's right there in front of you. Why can't you join in?
It's not in front of me.
Look at the producer. He doesn't want to talk at all. Why do you even have a mic in front of you?
It's not in front of me. That's why.
Worthless. You are worthless. Anyways, back to the news. You got some awards coming out. More awards. I know we mentioned it already with Louisville, with Kyle Kirk and Shane Mahanon. The Kentucky side of things, today was a loaded day for me online. I had to type up award after award, it seemed like. I'd like to start out with Seth Davis's award from Sports Illustrated, giving our senior Darius Miller the all-glue team captain. Anybody see that?
Mm-hmm. I did, actually.
Keeping your squad together without all the gaudy numbers, You got to like that. It's a glue guy. He was also named the SEC Sixth Man of the Year, which he definitely deserved. Then you got his buddies, Kid Gilchrist, Doron Lamb, Terrence Jones, all on the second team, SEC. Then you got Kid Gilchrist actually got
Kid Gilchrist
on
the
all
first team.
defense. He was on the second team, but he was on the all defensive team with Anthony Davis.
So many awards.
So many awards.
Keep him straight.
And now Anthony Davis has SEC Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, First Team All SEC, All Defensive Team.
Will it be a repeat in national?
He's still got multiple. I mean, he could still get Defensive Player. Yeah, exactly. So congrats to those guys. Louisville women. I know Kelly wanted me to throw this out there. Shawnee Schimmel, she was named to the first team Big East, and Bria Smith was all freshman. So congrats to the women's side. Women's team lost to St. John's 68-61 in overtime in the Big East tournament. So they'll be looking for the NCAA, see where they're seated. As for the women for UK, they also lost to LSU in the SEC tournament 72-61. So they're going to be checking out for their brackets coming up. I think they do theirs on Mondays, right? Like a bracket Monday.
I don't remember.
I think it's the Monday after Super.
That was a heartbreaker of a game, though. I watched that.
Idea Mathis.
Yeah.
Adia.
Adia.
Sorry.
It's my mom's former student
Seriously?
Right. Where at?
at Southern Middle School, now Old Set Academy North. It's her former student, so
That's
she
right. She
follows
is
it
from
pretty
here,
hard.
isn't she? Yeah. Adia.
South End.
Mathis named SEC Player of the Year. Bria Goss, Freshman of the Year, and Keela Snowden was Sixth Woman of the Year. Her and Darius Miller are also on the All SEC Community Service team. Congrats to you guys. Danielle doesn't seem too happy about that.
I love it.
You don't
I
like
love
good
community
people, do you?
service. I do it every day.
Again, give us a call on the Brucey's.com calling line. 502-265-5211.
But you lie about doing it. John Hancock, meantime, is doing real
He's
community
totally
service.
really doing.
Yeah.
She does it for
That's
legal
more of
reasons.
his thing.
She
But
does it.
that's a John Hancock thing. I totally commend him for it.
John
That's
Hancock's
a person thing, not a John Hancock thing, Danielle.
How much community service have you done today, Tyler?
Today, I did none today.
I've done 140 hours.
But you know how many people that aren't John type of things did? A lot.
What?
It's a people person type of thing, Danielle.
Okay. You're so much
Not
better
everybody's.
than me. Everyone's so much better than me.
So I didn't say anybody's better than you, Danielle.
Yeah.
Just backing up my boy John here for a minute, which doesn't
No,
happen
I love
much.
John. That's awesome. I wish I were
Yeah, since
as
you
good of a
completely
person
ripped
as
open
John.
his MVP trophy.
I still see a
In
piece
half.
over there in the breakdown lounge.
Yeah, exactly.
If you didn't see our show last week,
He'll
we had
claim
our
it soon.
first year anniversary last week. It was a fun show. We gave out awards throughout the show. We Mr. Ego over here, Kelly Patrick, he had the most awards. We gave him the best hair. Surprise. Best hair, something else, and something else. Nobody really cares. Looks like we got a call, Matt.
Welcome to the Bluegrass Breakdown Radio Show. Who do we have calling in? Hello?
Oh,
You there?
Looks like he hung up.
That was a
He saw my
prank
Facebook
call.
status.
There's a wrong number.
I think it was Kelly's intro. You answered it like we were welcoming back to a show. Welcome into the Bluegrass Breakdown Radio Show. Who do we got here? Just say, you're live on the air.
Just say.
How about I answer it the way I want to? You do it you want
Whoever
to.
that was, call back 502-265-5211.
Pretend that you're from a massage parlor.
I'll answer it this
How
time.
would we do that?
We're
You don't want
going
me
to
to
put
do
this on the
that.
producers, Matt's shoulders, for not having a sound room to check phone calls before. See, you guys got to call in live. We got to say, who do we got here? We'll put this one on the producer's shoulders.
Matt, you should somehow pay for a soundproof
I was
room
gonna say, when you guys want to invest in that,
where we have a person screening the calls with the call board.
I see your dungeon back there. Just go in there. I'm not joking. We need
Jim
sound.
Boeheim denies knowing that
Yeah.
Syracuse had 10 or more players who failed drug tests and were allowed to play. At least one of those people was during the, 2003 National Championship season.
I'm going to probably say Carmelo Anthony since he's been caught with weed before.
Yeah.
And Jerry McNamara, I'm pretty sure he's been caught with meth back in his prime.
Just because
Honestly, there are tons of players who have
No,
had
that's serious.
just.
He hasn't been caught with meth.
McNamara got in some trouble, I'm pretty sure. I might be
Well,
wrong.
I mean, there are a lot of players in Syracuse who have gotten in trouble. Even my man Scoop Jardine's gotten in trouble.
Your man,
so.
Scoop Jardine.
I
Why
love
is
Scoop
Scoop
Jardine.
Jardine your man?
Okay, I'm not in love with him, but he's probably
It's close to love.
apart from. No, it's not even like that. We
He's
will
a
never be
pudgy,
married. I
normal
love
guy.
him, but he can shoot the lights out if you let him.
Why don't you join their squad? We don't want you. Team Syracuse, Danielle Kaisko.
Look at- Tyler is so bitter. You can't
Well, I'm not
enjoy
bitter.
a player for what he does, considering he's been there for about 10 years. I feel like
I think he's on a
I like Jim Boeheim. I especially like his
I hate all
press
of it.
conference
I don't like Jim
rants.
Boeheim.
I do.
I hate Boeheim.
You watch his
I like
YouTube
Calhoun.
rants.
I don't like Boeheim.
How do you like Calhoun?
I don't.
I like the way he chews gum.
You like
Okay,
the sleaziest
I like the
coach in
way he
basketball?
chews gum like a cow with.
What I was saying is,
We
I
just need
remember
workers
Leighton
around
Joe
here.
Paul's tenure at Penn State. Players were getting in trouble. Penn State players were assaulting people in apartments. I remember hearing a lot of problems they had. I mean, is this similar to Joe Paul?
No, because it doesn't involve molesting little boys.
This is a total
It doesn't?
I mean, I guess it.
Bernie
well,
Fine? I mean, what?
Well,
You're
this
not
is a
bringing up the
different
Bernie
scandal.
Fine thing again.
Bernie Fine
What's that
is
similar to?
outside the statute of limitations when he
Oh,
was
so
did.
he's not guilty.
This is
I'm
players
not
doing
saying he's not
drugs, not
guilty.
coaches molesting boys. It's a total different thing.
It's a totally
The
different
overall
scandal.
thing seems somewhat similar.
But overall,
Assistant
Assistant
it
coaches
adds.
molesting little boys.
Okay,
Not an
look.
everyday thing.
Look,
Everyday
the
thing
Bernie
is
Fine
drugs.
thing.
I don't know.
Okay, silence. The Bernie Fine thing and the drug thing. It's two things in one very short amount of time, which sucks for Syracuse and makes them look worse. They're two completely different things. Honestly, a bunch of college-age students who, by the way, most college-age students, dabble in a little
You
bit of
dabbled in your
drugging.
prime.
I was around it. I never did.
Yeah, there you go. But I'm just saying, I kind of understand that a little bit more than old dudes who are coaches molesting little boys. Sorry, it's a
I'm
little
with
bit of a
Danielle.
different skin.
Matt, can you chime in? Where are you on this one?
What do you mean? But
What's worse, college-age kids doing drugs or old dudes molesting
Yeah,
little boys?
this is
Which one's
different.
worse to you?
all I'm doing is drawing similarities
There's
between
no
Bernie
similarity.
Fine and
No.
Sandusky. And then
Why?
I'd rather not
also
talk
the-
about
the-
either
And
one
have
of them
the
because it's just
Boeheim-
something that's just should
Yeah,
be
let's not talk about
sold.
that, Kelly. Let's get off that. That's a
Things
summer
little bit
show.
awkward from time
That's
to
a
time.
summer show.
That's a summer show. That's seriously.
You
That's
guys want to pretend like stuff like that doesn't happen? Fine.
It does happen, but I'm just saying it's different levels.
I'm gonna say a
I'll
lot of
talk
people.
to someone else later about it.
That's fine. You do it. You call up your counselor, please.
Moving right along.
Joby Hall.
You about base?
No,
Joby
Joe,
Hall.
no,
Joby Hall of
no,
Fame.
Joby Hall of Fame. Exactly.
Yeah.
We'll talk about your baseball, cool little baseball cats later. Joby Hall of Fame, as Danielle said, he's being inducted November 18th into the National Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame, alongside Patrick Chewing. He'll be going, and I think his name is John Host. He was a big businessman in the area. I have no idea about him. Do you? Being a businessman?
I think I've heard the name.
Well, congrats to those two. But for real, Joby Hall, former Kentucky coach, played at Kentucky, national champion. Him and Danny's radio show is great. He's a well-deserved man, so congratulations to him.
He transferred away from Kentucky as a player.
He did. Because he wasn't going to play for Rupp. I mean, he just wasn't good enough.
Joby Hall's great. He is.
They're good guys. Maybe we'll see Patino and Cal do a radio show one day. I know Rick's.
That would be.
Imagine the comments Rick would be saying. Oh gosh,
He would
It
give
would be so
motivational speeches,
passive-aggressive,
and it would be
glorious,
awesome.
Is what it would be.
it'd be a mixture of like a political show from Calipari and Howard Stern, Rick Pitino. Like, because you don't know
Political?
what Rick's gonna say.
How political from Cal?
The way he speaks,
Oh, you mean like?
the way he sounds, just sounds like he's. Come on. Like when he preaches to Big Blue Nation during like Big Blue Madness, that just
Very
sounds
Obama-like.
political. Yeah, that's what I'm hitting at.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Coaches are
I get it.
We've agreed
somewhat
too many
wrong.
times tonight, Danielle.
I know. What's wrong with us?
I don't like it. White Kelly was going to say the baseball side of things. We do like all the sports in this area. Bull baseball, Kelly, number 14.
Louisville baseball is in one poll ranked number 14.
9-3.
9-3. They just swept Pepperdine.
How are they
Pepperdine.
9-3?
Pepperdine in L.A.
They're ranked 14 and 9-3, and Kentucky's
That's where all the
ranked
stars go.
23rd, and they're 12-0.
Why do you say that's where all the stars go?
Because it's like in L.A., I think.
Oh no,
It's
she's
LA or
totally
in SoCal,
all the baseball. It's
Pepperdine.
California's powerhouse, like Rice. That's bigger.
Well, it's they
You
got the weather. They
Cal
can play
State
year round.
Fullerton out there. There's some powerful
The,
baseball. I know my baseball. a
Tia
little
and
bit.
Tamara Mowry, they went to Pepperdine.
Who?
I know. You know the.
You ever
you
watched
know,
Sister Sister when you grew up?
I wish I had my. You're lucky I X off my soundboard 30 seconds ago because the crickets were coming on that one. But
I know my Hollywood stars.
yeah, baseball and Kentucky baseball both ranked, so that's nice.
I think Kevin Costner played for Cal State Fullerton.
I think you're actually right. Yeah.
Okay, Kevin Costner's okay, but Tia and Tamara Mowry are not. That's fine. I see how it is.
Yeah, Kevin Costner's a little bit more famous.
A little bit more famous.
Yeah, Dances with Wolves is great.
On the women's side of things, the softball
Bodyguards. God.
Okay, you're right.
teams. Oh gosh, look at Kelly. You should.
Please.
You know your movies, don't you?
Should I start
No.
singing? You want me to sing?
Maybe later. But the softball team, UK's is 10-8. UofL's is 15-0. They're ranked 17, so got some good softball.
At least they got one sport.
And then baseball's ranked good too. I know a couple guys on our team. They're gonna have a good season. They have soccer.
Football. Oh, yeah, football. The largest
Football hasn't
revenue-generating
happened yet.
sport in the country.
Oh.
Football has not happened
Oh,
yet.
here you go,
Happened last
Kelly.
year.
Malik Price, a 4-star, is looking at Louisville. 6'9", 190 out of Miami. He's got Ohio State. He's got some actual top programs. I expect him to jump up to 5-star.
You love. This song's so good.
Heard this yet?
You love.
I'm glad you
It's not a bad song. It's not a bad song.
It's
Me
the
being
best song
surrounded
I've
by
ever
3
heard.
Kentucky
It's very
fans.
Nickelback. It sounds very Nickelback.
It
and
sounds
I love
worse
it.
than
No, the
Nickelback.
best thing is that they made the video on YouTube of them actually the game that they lost. And
Yeah.
they're-
Syracuse game.
Against Syracuse the first time. That's the main video.
Was that an actual UofL person who made that?
Yeah.
It was Louisville Crashers, the song. I'm not sure who actually made the video.
Oh, that's so
That's awesome.
great.
Murray
Yeah.
State, they won the OVC tournament over the weekend to beat Tennessee State in a real good game. They're finished the season ranked 10th. You'll definitely see them. I'm expecting. What do you think, Danielle? 5 seed probably for them.
For who?
Murray State,
Probably 5.
probably about a 5 seed.
Matt Jones said that Louisville would be a 5 seed. I don't see Louisville being a 5 seed.
What do you see them being?
7.
I was gonna say 6.
I think they're going to be lower. They should be lower.
I was gonna
but I
say
mean, all year
6.
long, they've stayed in the top
Right.
25
I don't know how.
somehow. I can't believe they
Well, that's
finally
because they were
dropped
ranked
off.
number 4, so they had a lot way to drop. So I don't know how they're number 4.
I can't even.
But yeah,
I'm still
that's
angry
the
about
reason.
that.
Derby Festival's
Angry
coming
about
around.
what?
The fact that Louisville somehow stayed in the top 25.
Danielle, it's rankings. Who cares?
I know, but it gets on my nerves.
It's okay. They're out.
Because every
It's not
team,
okay.
They're out, so you should be happy.
I mean,
right?
if you compare them to the other teams, though, they're a little perspective.
What other?
Other teams who are ranked similar to them have similar.
I'm not saying that
records.
all of those other teams.
Louisville
should
can be
top
ranked number
25.
2 for all care as long as we're number 1. And Derby Festival roster, everybody's.
Wow.
Matt's dad wants Louisville to lose every game of every season.
Matt's dad, if you haven't seen him on Facebook, you can check him out on our website, KentuckySports.co's Facebook. He's all over it. He
Yeah, you don't have to do much searching. He's pretty much on every post he's posting.
He wants Louisville to literally lose every single game
in every
I'm not
sport.
there.
and be dead last every year.
In every sport.
He admitted.
No, he doesn't want Louisville to exist.
Exactly.
He'd rather than just be gone off the map.
It's always been like that.
He doesn't care if it's by death. He
That's
doesn't
how
care.
my mother is. So there
A
you
lot
go.
of
We're gonna
bitter,
get her to
lot of
call in
bitter
tonight.
older folks out there for some reason.
My mom is not older.
I can call Dan old if I want to. I'm allowed to.
Yeah, he's old.
Hell, Nick Carlisle calls him a lot worse than that.
Oh gosh, they get at it on Facebook. It's crazy. But yeah, we're running out of time here. Derby Festival, real quick. You get to check out the Louisville fans. Check out Terry Rozier. He'll be in attendance. There might be a couple guys like Willie Cauley. Maybe if he'll be at UK, he might be there as well. That'll be coming up here. I believe that's April. Derby Festival time.
He will be there.
Yeah, we'll be there for sure. We'll definitely be there. Selection Sundays this Sunday. Very excited. Very excited. Obviously,
Good stuff, yeah.
Louisville fans actually have some anticipation.
Yeah, I'm real excited. Louisville, Patino makes it to the Sweet 16. He gets to the Elite 8. So if they can get to the Sweet 16,
Now,
That's
quickly,
a really
serious
good
question
stat.
here, Kelly. If Louisville makes it out of the first round to the Sweet 16, are you happy if they lose that next game? Honest. Or do you want them
They-
to maybe make
they
it to
would
the
have
Elite
to
Eight?
make it from this. They would have to win 2
What
games.
if
to make
Patino
it to the
doesn't
Sweet
get out of the first round?
Then my tune may change.
Will your
on my
Facebook
whole
name
thing.
be a little different?
I'm not just gonna be
Look,
a
go
fair
to
weather
Kelly
bail on
Richard
him.
Patino fan,
Kelly
Patrick?
Charlie
No,
Strong
hell
fan?
no.
Oh.
Listen to
Charlie
me.
Strong
Listen
fan.
to me. There's no way in hell Richard Patino
Yeah, there's no way.
should be or will be the coach of Louisville.
hope
He won't
not.
be. He won't be. There's no way. Louisville's too smart for that. Jerk's way
I
too
had
smart for
a debate with someone the other day, and there's no way. I mean, that would be
I hope
irrational.
that.
not.
Yeah, there's no way. But we're wrapping up. We'd like to thank Matt Jones from Kentucky Sports Radio for joining us, talking about all the UK stuff going along and his tipping habits. And thanks, Kelly and Danielle. It's been another fun show. And actually,
Thank
just so
you.
you all know, for the next 2 more weeks, we're going to be on Tuesday nights. Just because, you got the NCAA tournament, Big East, SEC, you don't want to be distracted. We want you all to watch us. So check back in next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. It'll be another fun show. This is the Bluegrass Breakdown.
Go Cards.